Hello and welcome, my name is Piera and today I'm here with my spoiler-free review of Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. You film 90% of your video and then realize that the audio isn't on? I suppose we're gonna try this again. For those of you who do not know, Iron Gold is the fourth book in the Red Rising saga and the first book in the Iron Gold trilogy. Red Rising was originally a trilogy of Red Rising, Golden Sun, and Morning Star, but now it is technically a saga with the release of Iron Gold, which is also, however, the first book in a new trilogy set 10 years after the final events of Morning Star, if that makes sense. This video will be my spoiler-free thoughts on Iron Gold, so if you haven't already, you can stay around. I will also be releasing a spoiler review in the next few days, so stay tuned for that if you want to. But as I said, Iron Gold is set 10 years after the ending of Morning Star, and whereas the Red Rising trilogy was about the rebellion and the uprising and the fall of the society, Iron Gold is about more of how you build the world up from the ashes, hence the phoenix feather. What do you do when the society is crumbled and you have to create a new world, and how do you shape that world and what do you want that world to be? Whereas the Red Rising trilogy was more action-packed, more rebellion, more uprising. Iron Gold is a lot more political. It's like the mature older brother. Yeah, like I said, politics, there's a lot more world building, there's a lot more character development. Obviously our original characters are like 33 at this point, so there's been 10 years of like all these different things happening, so they're a lot older, they're a lot more mature. And we also have 3 new point of view characters, so it's not just Darrow in this book like the Red Rising trilogy. We also have 3 other characters, one who we have met previously in the Red Rising trilogy, one who was mentioned in the Red Rising trilogy, and a completely new character. The first point of view character is obviously Darrow, who was our protagonist through the Red Rising trilogy. Darrow is now 33, which makes me feel old, because obviously they were like 24 by the end of the Red Rising trilogy, and I'm 24 now, so now these guys are like older than me, makes me feel really weird. Tactus, mate, you're not helping. And so we obviously followed Darrow and his journey through kind of rebuilding what the world is now. And as much as I love Darrow in like the original trilogy, Iron Gold Darrow is very sad and dreary and just bleak and depressing, which I totally understandable, I get it. And of course through so much of this book it's literally back again with Darrow, no! Darrow, yes! It's a whole other ballpark, although this book I found myself a lot more yelling at Darrow, being like, Darrow, you're an idiot, why would you do that? He does a lot of dumb shit in Iron Gold, which isn't anything new, but it's annoying. The next point of view character who you may be familiar with is Lysander Al-Loon, who was the grandson of Octavia Al-Loon from the original trilogy, who was the Sovereign. And at this point in the trilogy, Lysander is about 22, how old was he? 20, 22? I don't know, I'm shit at math. I loved Lysander, I love Lysander, but he also does a lot of dumb shit, in that he reminds me of Darrow, he reminds me of young Darrow, but like the alternate young Darrow, if that makes sense. Obviously in the original trilogy his whole life was turned upside down and everything he knew was flipped on its head basically. So the 10 years pre-Iron Gold and then Iron Gold is basically just Lysander figuring out where he is in the world and how he's going to maneuver through this new world. Now the next 2 point of view characters we have are completely new characters, although one of them was mentioned in the original trilogy. One of our new POV characters, his name is Ephraim, and for those of you who remember Trig in Morning Star, who unfortunately died, Ephraim was Trig's fiance slash husband. He was a Grey, and he is now one of our point of view characters in the new series. I love Ephraim, like he was a really great alternate character, like, you know, like you've got Darrow's voice and you've got Lysander's voice, but then you have this complete opposite, like, chaotic, evil voice, which was really great. And obviously 10 years later he's still suffering the loss of Trig and what it was like to be a son of Ares and then not be a son of Ares, and also how he is maneuvering through the new world. He does a lot of dumb shit too. And our final POV character, which I think I was the most excited for because it was a female, is Lyria, and she's a young red from the mines as well, and she has recently been liberated, within like the last 10 years, liberated, brought to the surface, and then it's kind of not what she imagined, what she was promised. So it's also following Lyria's journey and how she's kind of been promised this brand new world and it's all going to be great and wonderful, and basically it's not, it's just kind of the slums of the world, and how she ends up wrapping herself around our other 3 kind of more connected POV characters. Now Iron Gold, you thought the Red Rising world was big. Iron Gold just fucking cracks that even more far open. Like you've got the solar system, but then you've got like planets and moons and then places on all of those things, and like as someone who doesn't know much about space, my brain is just fried. And in my ARC copies, I don't have a map. So I'm really struggling, but there is a map out there now, which I'm super excited for the finished copies. But it just blows the world open tenfold, and especially having 4 different points of view. It's not all from Darrow, so you get multiple, so much fucking world building and history as well. There's so much history, not only just from the last 10 years, but also from the, prior to the original trilogy. So the world is 10 times bigger. There are 101 new characters, one of whom I absolutely adore. She's an Obsidian, her name is Volga. She's an Ephraim storyline. Oh, girlfriend, I love it. And there's not too much I can tell you about this book without spoiling it or, you know, the original trilogy, which by now I hope you have all read if you are about to read Iron Gold. Anyway, that is my spoiler-free review of Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. I highly, highly recommend you pick it out when it comes out in a few days. It was bloody damn phenomenal. I know the rest of the series is going to be just as good. Dark Age, which is the fifth book in the saga, the second book in the Iron Gold trilogy, comes out on September 11th. Yes, September 11th, this fucking year. I'm taking that as an early birthday present from Pierce, so thank you, love. Anyway, go read this fucking book because it's phenomenal. Read it, let me know what you think in the comments down below, or tweet me because I'm happy to talk about Iron Gold on the Red Rising trilogy till I die. Okay, bye.